Hello again. This is Dr. Ted Coffman coming to you from the Crystal Star Ranch with Dr. Ted Talks. We know you could be at a lot of places. We appreciate you being right here with us. This is about uplifting your spirit. And isn't it interesting? The two sections that we're going to go over out of the book We Today are wisdom and women. I was going to put men in this section, but I went to find the section on men, and there isn't one. What does that tell you? Well, I'll leave it up to you. Wisdom. My grandest journey may be moving from my perspective to yours. Peaceful wisdom. A fun place to visit and a great place to live. Our most exciting adventure is the fascinating journey through wisdom. My favorite color on the poet's palette is love wrapped in pastels. As I reach out to touch the face of wisdom, it is as if I am about to stroke the face of the universe. We are born with all the wisdom deep within. We must recall it on a journey no one can take for us. What if you are not here to discover who you are, but rather you are here to declare who you are from the highest mountaintop as you create it? What if your soul's grandest desires are to make you the biggest person you're capable of becoming and to remind you of the tools with which to build that august phenomenon? They're in your toolbox. Wisdom dictates that we spend a little time each day separating worthwhile wants from the frivolous. What if everything you did, said, and thought was a representation of who you really are? The two base emotions are fear and love. Each is a choice. Masters are normal people who consistently choose love. Upset can be just as inappropriate a response to stimulus. Let me say that again. Upset can be just an inappropriate response to stimulus. We, the sea of humanity, are bound to one another by the field of infinite possibilities, unconditional love, and the human spirit. We each determine the strength of the bond through the awesome power of choice and commitment. Anger on the outside is fear on the inside. If it is safe, treat the angry person like a frightened child. I proudly paint a living portrait of who I am with the brush of choice on the canvas of life. The golden rule was never intended to be satisfied just being a theoretical construct. The enlightened see all others as enlightened. Loneliness lives at the center of one's unawareness. Letting go of the outcome allows us to focus on our own performance, which, parenthetically, elevates the outcome. He asked, "So what's wrong with being misogynistic and patriarchal?" She answered, "Sit down and be quiet." Trying to talk a woman out of going shopping when she is determined is like trying to skin a running bear. I said, wouldn't it be fun to be the road worker holding that spinny stop sign on the road to success? Now that's power. She said, yeah, just step out there in the middle of that road with that spinny sign and I'll show you power, horsepower. I didn't. I gather life like a cave woman gathers berries. if I always take my wife's side, am I a feminist or just wise? She said, I want a man who will intimidate me. I kissed her ferociously. She said, I want a man who will intimidate me. You're the woman my mother warned me against. I've been looking for you. Wisdom is arduously stamped upon us by our unconsciousness. Pay attention. Your life is happening. Enthusiasm is a pure state of grace. Our native brethren lived peacefully in the woods, by the rivers, on the mountains, and on the plains that no one owned. I like Babe Ruth's philosophy on baseball applied to life's ideas. Pick out a good one and sock it. Inner peace and freedom are like both sides of a nickel. You just can't separate them because no matter how thin you slice the nickel, they are on both sides of the slice. Impatience is at the shallow end of the gene pool. Who you are shows up in advance of your accomplishments, the first being the foundation for the second. Pretending others are less is unhealthy, unhappy, and unworkable, and creating a satisfied living. Dissatisfaction fuels the fire of satisfaction. Ever wonder why the voice most loved is that which has been silenced? The eyes most appreciated are those that can no longer see. The most precious legs are generally those that have been lost. We have such an immense ability to take such big things for granted. My secondary mission is to teach successful living. My primary task is to live it. I want not to pretend to be wise. Please let me acquire the real thing. The wisest voice available for you is the voice you hear inside, but you must distinguish that from the simple mind chatter, which is meaningless at best. The wise voice speaks truth, love, joy, and appreciation. Setting sail is much safer when you are fixed on an unwavering star. Find the courage to discover the dignity of daring, that you may find that ground of being beyond annihilation. There is no greater art than the astounding mosaic of the faces of all Americans bound by liberty, illuminated by freedom, and committed to justice. The only thing that is just human is a corpse. Cordial communication. Everyone kindly waiting for the guy to quit talking. My favorite color has not been invented. My favorite book has not been written. My most meaningful accomplishment is still undone. My most respectful words have not been spoken, and my most valuable work lies just ahead. There's much to do, so I am thankful for the opportunities before me. Our most invigorating walk is a hike up the stairs of our highest thoughts. Want to feel power, full throttle? The next time someone transgresses you, don't blame them. Not because of who they are, but because of who you are. If forgiveness be strength, non-judgment is Hercules. When your purpose is to love everyone and everything, life becomes an astonishing, delightful journey. How would I like to be remembered? I felt better every time I saw him. Your troubles are like the picture on your phone. You can make them as big or as small as you like. A walk in the woods is a metaphor for life. You can start late, not be sure where you're going, hesitate, and not look very good doing it. But if you keep walking, you'll get there. Just because we can't be perfect doesn't dampen the spirit to be great. If reading fills the vessel, meditation is its reflection, and discourse is the contents shared. Consistently seek your highest choice on the continuum of life. Want to be really brave? Take responsibility for your own emotions all the time. We allow others to hurt our feelings, distance them, and then blame them for not being our friend. Then we abhor the loneliness. We call that mysteries of the mind. Wisdom is not allowing the irritating seeds of what others are, do, and think to take root in your garden of peace. Courage can be inversely proportionate to the place from which it springs. The more we love, the grander our production. Revenge may be defeated by revenge, but only love can conquer it. There are no good or bad, positive or negative thoughts, just thoughts that work and those that don't. Confidence and doubts are opposite sides of the nickel of balance. Our fundamental desire, see me. Our greatest desire, love me. Truth, love, and joy, life's three wise triplets frequently seen together, playing feverishly on the lawn of life. Adventures will have no end as long as there is a horizon. Giving up years may wrinkle the skin in men, but giving up aliveness wrinkles the soul. To become who you might be, you must let go of who you are pretending to be, who you are afraid you are, and what others believe you are. If we knew the suffering, the trials, the difficulty of our enemies, we would not see them as so different from us. A have-oriented society lives under the illusion that satisfaction comes from having more, not being more. No belief is as powerful as the experience of the same thing. We stand powerfully in this moment of forever. Knowing trumps believing. Simple and significant carry well the message. Curiosity is the coal that fuels the fire of discovery. Dissatisfaction assists. Wise is the man who, at the right time, meets the right woman and swarms on it. I'm not okay, but not being okay is okay, so I'm okay, okay? Okay. Foolish be the man that falsely believes he has a monopoly on wisdom. hunch is a thought chick trying to hatch. When words are not big enough to express an idea, it can still be expressed in art, music, or by a forest or a river. True genius can be recognized by the idiots arguing against him. Loyalty frequently has a slow and deliberate birth. She gave him her vulnerability. He gave her his authenticity, and they became rich in the exchange. If I had a choice between the woman who has a brilliant mind and the woman who has a great sense of humor, I would choose the pretty one. I'm such a man. Each year is a unique blank page in the book of life with its own set of things for us to observe, learn, and teach. It's a now gift box. Let's call it the present. Oh, for the courage to be who I want to be rather than who I am. The mind is like a fast-moving, revolving front door. Meditation slows the rotation so we can glimpse moments between thoughts and extract their jeweled wisdom. I am only one stitch, but knowing that, I see my purpose to be assisting, holding the weakened tapestry of humankind together. In the book of life, the answers are in the back. In painting the masterpiece of your life, you need not worry about hiding the brushstrokes. Women, authenticity is so statuesque that it stands out in any crowd. Royalties, crowns, diamond rings, expensive bracelets, and dear friends. Life's bedazzled jewels. Assertiveness is aggressiveness without the ego. When a woman complains of her friends, it tells me a little of them, but my, what it reveals about her. Never let him totally solve the mystery of you. You are neither dualism nor non-dualism, but rather she who can see both in a lonely raindrop or a solitary velvet rose petal in the morning sun. If one man can destroy the world, it only follows that one woman can save it. Women deserve more than a seat at the table. They deserve to own half the table. There are three ways to do things: the way they've always been done, the way everyone else is doing them, and a woman's way, new, inspired, refreshing, brilliant, well-designed, and harmoniously put together. I can't remember what she was wearing, but I'll never forget how she wore it. If you spent as much time, money, and effort on your husband as you do your rose garden, you may just love him as much as you do your roses. On second thought. The size of the painting is not a measure of its value, ladies. The study of a woman at any age is not unlike the study of nature before science. We approach the mysteries of the female mind as scientists approach the unknown complexity of outer space or splitting the atom, cautiously. Her body tells me things her words cannot. Woman is fickle and changes her mind like the fragrant, graceful, rolling clouds move in the sky, and thus the magnificence of each. She lit a candle, he said sarcastically. Fixing dinner? She said, yes, Rice Krispies. Don't mess with a woman in an apron. I wore one of my favorite flannel shirts to bed last night so I could give it to you as a nightshirt to remind you of me. When I presented it to you, you immediately sniffed it and smiled. My heart entered the cardiac Olympics. You are worried that I might tire of you. I would rather give up air. It is assumed in the female community that a wealthy man must be naturally in want of a good wife. The older and wealthier the man, clearly, the greater and more urgent the need. Understanding her is like trying to solve a crossword puzzle that has no answers, but then she's more enticing, unsolved. If you truly believe you understand a woman, explain green. Magnificence. What happens when a woman goes in to bathe in her splendor and it experientially sticks to her? If Mystique had a shape, it would be wearing your dress, baby girl. She asked me how I was feeling. I smiled all sexy-like and said, dangerous. She turned and walked away. Oops. I took my new lady out for a social dinner with new friends. We didn't need a floral table piece. Her smile completed her. Her smile completed everyone. Her smile completed me. The strings that make a woman swoon are not unlike the strings of a fine harp in the master's hands. What would need to change for you to discover your celestial style, your bestial presentation? Let not his suave wit, demure, and charm be my masters. Just because you are 100% responsible for your relationship doesn't mean he isn't too. A measure of a woman is how much sunshine she is per square inch. Imagine being a perfect mix of simplicity and glamour. Guys, too, get into this one. Eloquence is the best evening dress to set a lady apart as someone special. Women forget what they don't want to remember, and they remember everything men want them to forget. Why is that, you reckon? Words are only illustrated fire. A woman's look is fire itself. Life's biggest hammer is a woman's amazing memory, which she nails us with. Distance means little to the woman with conviction, and to her, a mountain is just a rocky dirt with a slight incline. Beauty is ageless, truth is timeless, and simple beauty is priceless. I think, therefore I am at risk. I think, therefore I am dangerous. I think, therefore, I must be a woman. I went to put a stanza like this in the men's section, and again, I realized there wasn't a men's section. Oh well. Successful civilizations may originate from the head, but are more favorably advanced from the heart Perhaps that's why Native American women were called on to make the most important decisions for the people. A woman's state of being is so statuesque, it speaks wonders about her without words. To be heard, speak your truth with conviction. Man's fear of women's success speaks to the wisdom of man. We can't even carry their lunch boxes, fellas. Illusion is knowing how to effectively change a woman. Wisdom is knowing to not even try. Integrity is more lovely than makeup or perfume. And now a tribute to women everywhere, whether they wear cowboy hats and boots or not. She climbed into the saddle with confidence to spare. She knew she'd make the buzzer as she tossed back her black hair. She pulled down tighter Stetson and set her feet in right. Her mind was in the middle, her soul was in the light. She looked to the arena, saw it was long and wide. She hunkered down and raised her hand and shouted loud, "Outside!" The gate swung out wide open. The crowd was on their feet. The cowgirl felt the mare explode. She had a real good seat. Her hair flew up into the air, and now she felt the strife. She knew this was the battle for her life. The docs had told her cancer, the word had deeply bit into the cowgirl's savvy soul. But the fire that it had lit rages on inside of us unto this very day. It reminds us of our struggles and the price that we must pay to ride in this arena and to carry on our work. She reminds us of the task at hand with every ounce of hurt that lives down deep within us. Because she now is gone, we know the work that we must do is just to carry on with pride and joy that she once rode our way. We are so truly grateful that now we pause to say, thank you, girl, for loving us and holding us so tight. We know that you did love us with all your strength and might. We loved you just that same way too. You knew it and you felt today was just another day to put a buckle on your belt. But destiny was calling you, and the judge's clock read 7, just as your boots touched down again in that place some call heaven. Your life was short, but it was great. We're thankful that you came to spend some time with us on earth. We'll never be the same. You are an inspiration, girl, a hero standing tall. Now you've met your destiny and listened to its call. It needed one more cowgirl to help it with its work. It needed one more angel who had a little dirt on her right rear Wrangler pocket, a hole in both her knees. Someone to do most any task with kindness and with ease. So Mother Time sent for you, dear girl. We're sorry we're alone. Our only consolation here is now we know you're home. You're home with fate, and with her son, we're proud of who you are. Today, you won the big one, girl. You got to be a star. Despair. I went for a walk down a cold, dreary lane with my sorrows, rejection, defeat, and my pain. I would gladly have deposited them all right there, but in that damp, dark, lonely night air, I remembered that life is often not fair. I discovered they had grown to be part of me, so I sat 'neath an aged, dripping, wet willow tree, and I wept. See you next time. This is Dr. Ted Coffman with Dr. TED Talks. Thank you for your time today.